Hey guys, my name is Tegan Crossley, aka Cause and Effects. Today I'm showing you how to achieve this futuristic neon punk character design that I created, which is also my entry to the 2018 NYX Face Awards. Let's get started. I began with a clean face and applied a thin layer of my NYX Studio Perfect Photo Loving Primer. This will give me a smooth base to work off of. Next, I chose to block out my left brow with a washable glue. I set the glue with my NYX HD Setting Powder, then added a layer of my Full Coverage Concealer in light pale shade. Now I want to start mapping out my handprint. This is a key part to the makeup, so take a minute to find out what works best for you. Once you've found something that you like, you can go in and start outlining with your NYX Eye Pencil in white. I use the same pencil to draw on the teeth and other details of the skull. This will make the shading process easier later on. I used an aqua blue water-based paint to fill in the skull. Cream or liquid paints would also work for this step. I fill in the teeth with a white water-based paint. Using my NYX Ulimate Brights palette, I use yellow and green to highlight the high points on the skull, including the bridge of the nose, brow bone, and teeth. Continue layering the yellow and green until you are satisfied with the tone and brightness of the highlights. Now I use the deep blue, purple, and hot pink shadow from the same palette to fill in the creases and deeper areas of the skull, such as the eye socket, nose cavity, and between the teeth. Just like before, keep layering the darker shades until you're happy with the depth of the creases. The more shadowing and highlighting, the more realistic your skull will appear. With a fine point brush, I go back in with a deep blue body paint to accentuate the deeper areas. This will also help break up any areas that were overblended. With the same detail brush, I go in with a yellow body paint to add some contrast and really pull the highlights forward so they don't get lost later on. I used the aqua blue shadow from the same Ultimate palette to dust over my teeth. I go back in and add some more shadows between the teeth. I also do this for the other creases in the skull. Then, with a detail brush, I use black body paint to add a final few touches around the edges within the skull. With a flat brush, I use the same black body paint to fill in the rest of the handprint. Using the white eye pencil, I draw out where I want my lightning strikes to be. I then go back with my NYX Ultimate palette, taking the purple and magenta to dust over where those are. Using a white body paint and a detail brush, I paint in the lightning strikes. You can paint in as many or as few as you would like. The best part about lightning is that it doesn't have to look perfect. In fact, the more imperfect, the cooler it will look. I used a tiny amount of blue body paint in the lightning for an added effect. This is totally optional, but if you choose to do so, you can use whatever color you like best. Using a black body paint, I outline the edges of the handprint. Then, taking my NYX single shadow in Raven, I shadowed the inside edges of the hand. This is where the extra highlighting we did earlier comes in handy. Now they won't get totally lost behind the black shadow. Going back with the black body paint, I add dots around the hand for a splatter effect. Using my eye pencil and body paint in white, I add a little bit of highlights around the hand to pull the edges forward. Using my NYX Duo Chromatic lip gloss in Foam Party, I add a few last-minute highlights for an extra pop. I also used a little in the shade Day Club. Moving on to the other side, I lightly line my brow and add a layer of my NYX Control Freak Brow Gel to keep everything in place. Using the pink and orange from my Ultimate palette, I start dusting color over my eye, pulling it back towards my hairline. I cover my eyelid to create an exaggerated cat eye with my NYX Vivid Bright Cream color in the shade Love Overdose. Using the light pink shade from my NYX Love You So Mochi palette, I dust in the corner of my eyes. Using my NYX Eye Pencil in black, I line my upper and bottom waterline. Then I begin going in, creating the zigzag liner effect on the side of my eye using my NYX Matte Liquid Liner. Using the hot pink from my Ultimate palette, I start laying out the shoulder design. I then take the peach from my NYX Air Element palette and deepen it up. I used black and white body paints to draw out my character's brand design. Using liquid latex, I attach plastic beads I found at the craft store to my shoulder. As the latex dries, I add drips and dots to my neck to pull the whole look together. I go back in with liquid latex, and using plastic lacing from the craft store, I add those to my shoulders, creating a wired effect. Before I took the photos, I decided to go back and apply false lashes and some paint splatter on my face. Both of these additions are optional to the look. Once again, this is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Thank you so much, and see you next time.
And I know they're just fragments of a world where